There's stories coming out about how COVID has impacted Indigenous food sovereignty and Indigenous food systems.
So COVID has been a very interesting time for food, and in many ways it's positioned food to have a much more central role in people's lives. And so we see a lot of interesting responses to that. But I think it's important to sort of distinguish food security from Indigenous food sovereignty, because we are talking about two different things. It is decolonizing and it is localized and it is relational. And that relational aspect, I think, is critical for understanding some of the big differences between food security and Indigenous food sovereignty. So you could technically have food security in jail, but it does not mean you have a good relationship with food. So ultimately, you can't really, like, the social and environmental implications of food are so intertwined for Indigenous peoples that in order to be doing the work of Indigenous food sovereignty, we have to be doing sort of all the work of Indigenous peoples' humanity and well-being and livelihoods.
One of the necessary underlying issues that need to be addressed for food sovereignty is land and water infrastructure. And what does decolonizing the food system look like in urban areas? Our working group on Indigenous food sovereignty has recently been successful in working with the Vancouver Parks Board and the City of Vancouver to have them accept our vision to restore Indigenous food lands in Strathcona Park. We are part of a global network of mutual aid and solidarity with people of color and poor working class white people, and who are mobilizing to develop financial, technical, and legal tools to move away from the capitalist structures and change the economy, a new economy. And so we're cross-fertilizing that work with a subsistence economy of giving, sharing, and trading, and we're developing tools that will be in our Food and Freedom School toolkit.
In the one city ward where the majority of our people are Indigenous, there is absolutely no grocery stores. The core area of Saskatoon is an area where food deserts exist. It's also a place where some of our allies, through the Child Hunger Education Program, have helped, and I've been part of this urban guerrilla, urban gardening movement to establish over 60 urban gardens, community gardens. We know sometimes cultures, in order to survive, must diversify. It's not simply a cultural thing of, getting only our traditional foods, but it's an issue of survival in food desert. When you've got children who are hungry that go to school without 3 square meals a day, when you have children, babies dying at rates that are even higher than so-called third world countries, we have a problem.
I would like to define my work as a collective initiative. I have been working with Opi-Ponapiun Cree Nation, in short, OPCN, and also known as South Indian Lake. So this is the building, Idintumitsuin program in Opi-Ponapiun Cree Nation. So this building is a place where whenever we go out with the youth and the elders and harvest food from the land, we bring it back here. And then we do have some traditional teaching here on how to process the food. We have a smokehouse beside it, and there are freezers inside. So we store the food, and once a week, we share the food with the community elders and diabetes patients and single mothers, and prioritizing those who are unable to go out in the land and harvest food from the land. We have lots of fun during the winter, other than the Idintumitsuin program that supports the seasonal harvesting activities. They have 2 other youth camping that's ongoing within the community during summer. One is called Kiwi Kapawitan, the other one is called Wasasi. So these pictures are from there. We have been publishing some wild fruit recipe calendars from the community and distributing them in the school and with different organizations throughout Manitoba. It's a collaborative initiative within the community. We have the school and the health complex and the band office. Everybody is coming together to make this program successful.
I think that we touched on some really interesting things here, especially about food sovereignty in the time of COVID. Again, check out all the links to all of our panelists' amazing ongoing work that's going to be continuing into the coming months as we hopefully recover from COVID and move on and continue this work. Thank you so much to all our audience for joining us today. Thank you again to all of our panelists, and stay well out there. Stay safe, everyone. Thank you.